Hello and welcome to the Lost Art Podcast. I'm Paul and I'm here with Gar.
That would be me. Welcome, friends.
Welcome, how's it going? Today we are doing a genre-specifique one. We are doing goth music. We've been talking about it for a while.
The fucking Goths.
Yeah, we're no authority on goth music, although I'm a big fan.
Do you think there's actually and here's my question. Do you think there's a genre that's actually goth? Or do you think there's other genres that just kind of have a feeling? Because I don't think there's an actual goth genre.
I'd honestly put it closest to Dead Can Dance, stuff that sounds like it's church music, but it's also a bit rock and a bit like, I won't say contemporary, but something that quite dark, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an actual...
No, not really. There's loads of genres. There's dark wave.
Yeah.
Fucking
but I don't think...
Post-punk.
Like, listening to this, we obviously picked... There's a couple in there that are obvious. There's a couple that aren't so obvious. And then you've got... Like... There's a bunch...
Yeah, we didn't want to go too obvious. No. But then again, we have to put a few classics in.
Yeah, you have to. We have to set the scene to a degree. But there's most certainly stuff that we left out of this that would be considered just pure goth music.
Well, I figured out where the term came from.
Really?
In terms of music.
Yeah, where did it come from?
It was Martin Hanna, who's the producer from Joy Division, said, Joy Division, they sound very gothic. So I think that's the start of it, possibly. Now, Joy Division are not as gothy as gothy went. Because I'm thinking cathedraly organs, choirs, and just general darkness.
But I think that's... Like, that whole kind of church feel, like you're saying, I don't even think that's goth. Like, it's gothic, but I don't think it's fucking goth. Like, what I'm trying to explain here is that I think it's most certainly a subculture, but I don't think it's a style of music.
It is.
I think there's bands that are just appropriated by that subculture.
It's a hugely signified by its look
yes,
as well.
More than its music. Like when you look through here, like there's bands here on this list that have almost nothing to do with actual goth.
There's ones that actually say we are not goth.
Yeah, 100%.
Say we are not.
Yeah, like original ones that are like, this is bullshit, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And there's like, we'll get through them all. Anyway, I should probably start, yeah?
Go on.
I'll do my first one. So I picked Killing Joke. This must be the 17th time Killing Joke.
18th.
Yeah. But we have to do it because they hit so many points themselves and they have so many different kind of high points and low points in their career that they have specific albums that tend to touch more upon...
Goths do love Killing Joke. Punks love Killing Joke.
Yeah, they're
people like industrial love Killing Joke.
Exactly. So I picked the album Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. I love this album. Yeah. This and the second self-titled album I think are my favourites. And I picked the song Goodbye to the Village.
It is quite gothy for them.
It is mad gothy. Well, I think because it's so seeped in reverb and it's about the right pace for people to just kind of shuffle around and throw their shoulders. Yeah. You know, staring at the fucking ceiling or whatever.
His voice sounds smoother than usual as well.
Yeah. What I found out about this is their 6th studio album, and it was actually recorded in Hansa.
That year.
Hansa. Yes.
I make that joke a lot. That year.
Yeah. This was recorded in 1986, it came out in 1986, but it was recorded at Hansa Studios in Berlin that we talked about in the Haunted Songs. So this is recorded in that haunted recording studio, which makes absolute sense. Now the songs on this,
they are a fan of it.
They are. The songs on this album are pretty long, so the original version of it that came out, the original LP, the vinyl, only had 8 songs, 4 songs per side. That was it.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of years later that they brought out the CD version and the cassette versions that had the full, I think it was like 12, 13, 14, I can't remember.
Not enough to make it a double EP, but...
Not, yeah, no, but
double album.
Exactly. I think they were going through this weird kind of transition period in that they were getting kind of popular, but they didn't want to be popular. So,
yeah, like when they released Love Like Blood, it was huge, but then they were like, the record label was like, oh, do another one of them, and they were actively tried to not.
Yeah, well, that's one of the big things about this album, about Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. So, the original version that goes out, if you can find a copy of the original LP with 8 songs in it, and you listen, it sounds very, 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 very different from what version of this album we're used to listen to.
Yeah.
So the guy they brought in this guy, Julian Mendelssohn, the record label, were like, listen, you have to get in here and mix these, because they had heard the original mixes and they weren't happy at all. They were like, this is mad grim, we're not into it.
Really?
So they brought in this Julian Mendelssohn guy. And Julian Mendelssohn was famous for doing mixes for Elton John, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, the Pet Shop Boys. He was very shiny and bright. Yeah. He was making pop songs. So,
well, like the original producer probably heard it and went, surely you want this music grim as fuck because it already has that.
Why we signed you. Yeah.
But it is good to get someone, like there's a few examples in this where they hired a producer that absolutely was nothing to do with Goth, and you get that perfect balance of pop and gothic rock.
Yeah, absolutely. But they hated it.
Yeah.
So Killing Joke hated these new mixes that Julian Mendelssohn done. They fucking hated them. But they could do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But in 2008, they commissioned a re-release of the album. And it was going to have all the songs on it. The song I picked, Goodbye to the Village, it's my favourite song on that album. And that is not one of the songs that was included in the original release. It's on the kind of extended version. So in 2008...
A sleeper hit.
Exactly.
Well, not a hit, but...
in 2008, they got the original guy who mixed them to pull out his original mixes.
They shot him.
No. the actual studio guy in Hansa. The ones they liked.
Right,
they got him back in. They're like, right, we're going to, remix, remaster this. Can you get the original tapes out with your original mixes? And I'm just going to give them a little bit of a spit and polish job. So what you're hearing now on this playlist is the way they wanted these songs to sound. And they're so fucking good. Like, it's not... Again, they're not a traditional goth band, but they definitely have a massive crossover into that world, Like, that song, there's so much going on. That weird dark synth that kind of sits in the background, like, just lights it up. And I don't think that was as prominent on the record label's mix of that song. I think it was a little bit more poppy.
Yeah.
I have heard that original released mix before, and I remember thinking it doesn't sound particularly good. This is 10 times better than the one that originally came out. Thankfully, if you go and buy this LP now, you'll get this one, the one that sounds good. But yeah, that's Goodbye to the Village by Kill a Joke. It's kind of long and drab. It never really picks up. Like, it certainly has tendrils in that world.
Tendrils.
Yeah.
Tentacles.
Exactly.
Tentacles.
Tentaculars.
Coming into the letterbox.
Exactly.
Tickling things it shouldn't.
Tickling little mouse buttons. Yeah, that's Killing Joke. I don't want to... Again, we've said it 1,000 times, we could do entire podcasts on Killing Joke. And we will when we run out of ideas.
For more Killing Joke playlists that we can stick them in, yeah.
For now, we'll leave it at that. Who's your next one?
My first one is Sisters of Mercy, Dominion, Mother Russia. It's very obvious choice. It is nowhere near my favourite Sisters of Mercy song, but it is a phenomenal song. The production on it is amazing. Yeah. And when you hear it, I love hearing it when I'm not in a particularly even rockish club. Sometimes you'll hear it. Like one time, I honestly think one time I heard it in Eddie Rockets.
Oh yeah,
I honestly did think, and the odd time in like, I don't know, a bar that you wouldn't really expect it. Maybe, you just get that. Oh, it is very goth.
It's perfect.
I love it. Now, Sisters of Mercy were never supposed to be a goth band, according to Andrew Eldridge, who's the singer, and sort of, well, maybe not original songwriter for the whole lot of it, but initially he seems a bit of a tricky character, this fella.
He's a bit odd, isn't he?
Yeah, he just seems to be moaning in every interview. You know, that kind of cool, like...
Is he the only original guy left?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
This like, but judging by they've only 3 studio albums.
Yeah.
Because they had a fight with Warner where they didn't release album for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And they still haven't.
There's a couple of EPs. There was Reptile House EP.
Well, there was 3 EPs before the first. So the 3 EPs are... Alice, Reptile House, and Body and Soul, yeah.
Reptile House is real good.
Yeah, look, the EPs are great. They are that kind of rock sound where it just sounds like they were more moody rock music than actual goth, but it clearly fits into the...
Yeah, but by the time Floodland was out, I think they'd made their bed and they were willing to sleep in it.
Yeah, well, like, it's crazy because Floodland is a completely different... It was only him on his own going out again after the first album. So the first album is... Well... The start of it was like they formed in Leeds and stuff like that in 80, and it was just him, Andrew Eldridge and Gary Marks making the music on their own, playing all the instruments and singing a couple of songs each themselves. Then they got Dr. Avalanche, the famous Boss DR55 drum machine, which I actually have I have a VST, a virtual instrument of at home. I play around with it every now and then. It's just daily whack a lot of reverb on the just get that sound.
Off you go.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Make Goth go button.
Yeah. They added Craig Adams on bass and Ben Gunn on guitar. That's when they released the 3 EPs in the 80s. Ben Gunn left and was replaced with Wayne Hussey. He was from Dead or Alive.
Right.
Now, I know what other band he's in. We know. We'll get to that in a minute. And he had loads of, because working with Dead or Alive, he had loads of sort of knowledge about how studio and stuff works. So he was kind of bringing them into the next century. So Warner did sign them for First, Last and Always. I think I'm pretty sure that's when they signed. That's their first album, and it's great. It's absolutely great album because it has songwriting from Hussey and the rest of the lads as well. It wasn't just. In fact, I'm not even sure Andrew Eldridge wrote a lot of music on that. If any of the music on that, he probably did. But listen, you can tell it's that Wayne Hussey sound. It was, I don't know if there's much 12 string on that because that was his thing. It was. No, there is. He's that 12 string.
It's 12s, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it on the Mission. That's just he's in the Mission.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. After that album, Hussey and what's the other fella's name? Adams left. They went and created the Sisterhood. Apparently, this guy is tough to work with. Andrew Eldridge. Just
I met one of the guys from Sisters of Mercy about 4 years ago, and we got called saying one of the guys from Sisters is going to be interviewed. We're looking for a place to interview him. Is it okay if we use your place to host it?
Yeah.
So we said, yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking, I fucking love Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah.
I'd be mad into this. Now, I didn't know who we were getting, so I had fingers crossed for Eldridge. Fingers crossed I was going to get fucking someone. Who walked in the door, but honest to God, lad, this like 20-year-old young fella.
yeah, I know the guy you're talking about.
Now, seemed all right at the time, but once they start doing the interview, I kind of backed out because
he's the one that's sent out to do all of them as well.
Yeah.
And even when the very rare occasion you'll see a Sisters of Mercy interview from around the time, Eldridge is sitting there with his sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And it's probably Ben Christo who was doing all the talking. Young lad, black hair, good looking fella.
Yeah.
Great guitarist.
That's the lad. But yeah.
He's the touring guy because they haven't written a song. Well, they have written maybe 2 songs or 3 songs that we know of that they've played live over the last 20 years. Like, he refused to put any of. I think he just doesn't even like his own fans.
Probably.
They were like, oh, released. Here's a couple of songs that people know now to sing that are not released. They just know them from YouTube or whatever like that. Which is kind of cool in a way, but it's also like, I'd hate to not be releasing music.
Yeah. Especially for that period of time.
Because I went to see them live with the young lads.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all. The Smoke Machine covered the whole stage.
I heard that, yeah.
They hadn't got really much keyboards on tracks. No Patricia singing any of the Floodland stuff.
Yeah.
Was it Patricia singing it? It's hard to know what Patricia did really anymore in the band. I know, like she was hurt. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into this. We'll talk about Floodlands now because they went on. Well, I don't want to get too much into the Sisterhood story. But Hussey and Adams left to form the Sisterhood, which they admitted was a bad name to call it because it's
too close.
It's too close, and they did it out a little bit out of course, stuff like that. But that happens again later with a different band. Floodlands comes out. Floodland gets Jim Steinman to produce it and co-write the album. Jim Steinman is Meatloaf, Bonnie Tyler, fucking Boyzone.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's just a great producer. So that's what we were talking about earlier, getting that kind of pop sound with a thing. And the production on Floodlands is fucking so good, man. It really is. If you like that kind of thing, like it's totally different from First, Last and Always, which is that really gritty, like guitars not mixed as well as they could be, but that's the sound that they got.
The tin shed
kind of exactly, effect. Yeah. And it's very good for early post-punk goth kind of rock that was, well, it wasn't really there at the time, but that's what we call it now. So the girl Patricia that everyone knows as, if you think about Sister Mercy, you think about him and her as the image of it, you know what I mean? Most people will, especially people that only like got into it through Floodlands. I always like, I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm wearing a Sister Mercy t-shirt now with the two of them on it. Floodlands, because she's in the front of Floodlands.
Floodlands was my first introduction as well.
Yeah, same as me, to be honest with you. He's kind of a bit of a dig. There's a little kind of weird quote about when she was let go from the band. She was hired the same day as they left.
Okay.
So he's obviously just like, things are done out of like rashness with this guy. Do you know what I mean?
Fuck off, you come here.
Yeah. But when she was let go, people were asking like, what did she like contribute to the band? He said nothing musically. He said she never wrote anything or played anything on the record while she was in the band, and she never picked up her guitar unless it was time to make a video. No wonder she was unable to play it properly when called upon.
Jesus.
You're a bit of a dick.
Dirty.
You asked her to be in the band, mate.
Yeah.
And everyone loves her. So, and she seems way sounder than you. In interviews, she was always the one with a little bit more like... It always reminds me of Dead Can't Dance's interviews, actually, where Lisa Gerrard will be a little bit more kind of softer spoken and kind of give the answers that maybe fans and or the interviewer wants to hear. Yeah. Where the other guy will sit there kind of grumbling or whatever like that. The big songs, obviously, that Jim Steinman, I think, he co-wrote Disc Corrosion, Dominion, and Lucretia My Reflection.
This Corrosion is outrageous.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Outrageous.
It's just fucking deadly. There's not much point in going too much into Vision thing, where he starts all over again. Do you know what I mean? This lad can't really work that well. Although I think Steinman was brought on again. It's mad to think that like Eldridge was like listening to Meatloaf going, yeah, I want that sound.
Yeah.
for a thing. Now,
To be fair, listen to Back Out of Hell and
no,
tell me.
like that's what I'm saying. Like it's brilliant.